What a fun topic for today's video, which is dating. Dating. If you are single and you're interested or looking for a long term partner, okay, this video is for you. If you've been following or subscribed to this channel for a little while, you may already know that I got out of a 4.5 year relationship last year in August of 2024, and it is currently May of 2025. And I have learned a lot about myself, a lot about how to approach dating, the mindset to have that is going to make the entire dating experience as pleasant and positive and insightful as possible. Because I know a lot of people dread dating, they hate it. They just want to find their person, they want to settle down, they want to be comfortable. But to find a truly worthy candidate of your love, time, and attention, you are going to have to go on dates, and you probably are going to have to go on many dates. So, first of all, learning how to get out of the mindset that dating sucks, dating is exhausting, dating is whatever negative traits or qualities that you have attached to the word dating. I want to encourage you to embrace the mindset and belief that dating can actually be very fun and not stressful. Because at the end of the day, even if the person that you are going on a date, the first date, multiple dates with, even if it doesn't work out, that person is going to teach you so much about what you do and don't like. It's going to teach you about yourself, your triggers. And we are on this planet to connect with other beings, to experience life. It's not just about, I need to find a partner and this has to be the person. Every person that we interact with on a daily basis, whether it's platonic, romantic, a stranger, doesn't matter, that is an opportunity to connect with another human being who has their own life story and so much uniqueness, unique qualities about them that make them beautifully, uniquely, authentically them. And so, again, even if you go on a date with someone and you can tell that you are not compatible with them, this is not, they don't have the qualities that you're looking for, that doesn't mean that you have to have a bad time. It means, to me, it means, okay, that's fine. I've learned this person's not my person. Now you can either choose to end that date right then and there. Once you know we're not compatible, you can let them know, hey, you know what? I want to be upfront and honest with you that I really don't see this going anywhere long term. So I appreciate the time and effort that you've made to set up this date or be here with me, but I don't want to waste either of our time. So you can either do that. However, I know a lot of people, that conversation would be incredibly uncomfortable. Maybe they feel like that would be rude, especially if the person that you are meeting, maybe they live far away, whatever it may be. Okay. If you don't want to have that conversation, you can also just go into it like, hey, you know what? This may not be my person. This is not my person. But if I'm going to be here, I might as well enjoy it. I might as well enjoy it. Why would I sit here and complain and be a negative Nancy? This is my precious time and energy. I mean, what if I died tomorrow and I'm choosing to be on this date? Okay, I might as well make the absolute best out of it. And the way that I'm able to do that when I go on a date and I can tell this is somebody that, no, that we're not going to be, this is not, they don't have the qualities I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, that's fine. What about this person do I find interesting? Maybe they have a hobby that I find really interesting. I don't know a lot about. Let me dig into that world for them where, tell me about your hobbies. Like, tell me about this. I've never heard about, I don't know, maybe they're interested in a certain sport that I've always found interesting. Like, maybe they like deep sea diving. I know nothing about deep sea diving. Cool. Okay. I don't see this going anywhere romantically with this person, but tell me about deep sea diving. Let me at least learn something from you from this date. I actually went on a date once with this man who like, he was very monotone, and there was just there was no energy in his voice. I felt like I was talking to a robot. And I mean, within the first 5 seconds, I knew because 'cause I'm very expressive, I have a lot of energy, and I don't need a partner who matches me on the exact same level, but come on, you gotta have a little something, right? So, very monotone, very flat. Immediately, I knew that this was not somebody that I would wanna be with long term. However, I did not want to have that conversation with him and just cut it right then and there. I was like, "You know what? I'm going to be here on this date. I might as well enjoy myself." So as I started asking about his life, I found his career very interesting. So I went in on that. I'm like, "Tell me about your career. I would love to learn more about that." And I just asked him all these questions in hopes that I would at least get some extra knowledge and insight that I didn't have before going on the date, right? And so that's a huge part of making dating enjoyable because I know for so many people they just hate, that small talk and all the time and effort going into a first date. And, you know, statistically, the person that you're meeting probably is not going to be your forever person, right? So learning how to have fun on dates, regardless of whether or not this is your person, is a huge part of making this entire process enjoyable. And you want it to be enjoyable so that you feel motivated and encouraged to continue dating so that you can find your person. Because, like they say, you often have to kiss a lot of frogs. Not that you have to kiss these men or women, but like you have to kiss a lot of frogs till you find your prince. You have to go on a lot of dates for most people until you find the person that is truly compatible with you long term, if you don't want to just settle for anybody. And I know most people, because they hate dating so much, they do settle and they're like, well, this person's good enough. Not too many terrible red flags, is tolerable. So, you know what? I hate dating. I don't want to, have to meet so many people. This person's good enough. Let me stick with this person. And that is why I believe the divorce rate is so high because people just settle for anybody that will give them the time of day. And so, if you are like me and you are not willing to settle and you would rather be alone, be happily alone and settle for somebody who is not truly, you feel in your heart and soul, the type of long-term partnership that you want. Again, learning how to have fun, make this dating process lighthearted, enjoyable, and find the positives in it when you are with somebody who you just don't jive with. That's a big part of just making this experience enjoyable. Now, something that has helped me, I should have probably said this first before point number one, but something has actually helped me is when like I downloaded Hinge a couple months ago. I was like, I've never done online dating. I like to meet people organically in person, but I've been home a lot more, recording, doing my work stuff, and it is harder to meet people, when you live alone and there's no people in your house except for your 3 dogs. Um, so it's like, let me just try out this online dating thing. So with Hinge, right? So what I've learned is when you talk to somebody online, somebody's online persona and how they, what's the word? How they portray themselves via text, it I've learned is wildly different than what you're gonna get from them in person. So what helps is actually setting up a phone call slash FaceTime, and I prefer FaceTime because you can see their facial expressions, which is even more personalized and helpful. Setting up a phone call or a FaceTime quick date, like even 5 minutes, even 1 minute, you'll get a good gauge of this person. Um, Doing that before you actually take the time and effort to meet them in person is also very helpful. I will say though that I have done this once and the guy was honestly very nervous and awkward on FaceTime, and then when I met him in person he was a great guy. So it's not a foolproof strategy, but it can help weed out people who just come across vastly different over text than they are in real life. So that's something that can help you filter out better as well. But when you go on dates, I want you to take notes what are the qualities that I liked in this person and what are the qualities that I didn't like? Have a list, write those things down so that your filtering and vetting process gets better over time. And so then as you are deciding if somebody is worth going on a first date with, you're able to narrow down your criteria more and more and be more selective. So you're not just going on dates with any random man who asks you out, realizing, 2 minutes in, oh my God, this is absolutely not what I'm looking for. So in the beginning, if you have no idea what you're looking for, or you have like a very rough idea, you are probably gonna have to go on a lot of dates that don't work out because you don't know what you like or want yet. So every date that you go on, make sure you have a list of the things that you like, of the things that you don't like, things that are absolute deal breakers and things that are, would be nice to have but don't need. Um, have those lists, write down those qualities, reflect after every date. If it wasn't good, don't just sit there being like, oh my, that was a terrible date. I can't do this. No, really sit down and be like, what did I not like about this person? What did I not like about this date? What did I like? Even if you generally didn't like the person, what was there even one or two positive qualities about this person that you can take into future dates, knowing what it is that you like and what it is that you're potentially looking for. So every person you want to date with, whether it was a great date, an okay date, an absolutely god awful date, there's something that that person can teach you and something that you can learn more about what you're looking for, who you are, what you like, and what you don't like. And that is so valuable, so valuable. And so these are just a few of the things that I have learned over the past a little less than a year as I've explored back into the dating world. And I am somebody who does best in long-term partnerships. um I'm very focused, so like I don't, I'm in, what I'm trying to say is I am intentional when dating. I date intentionally, and so for me, when you date intentionally, sometimes you can put a level of pressure and seriousness on it that doesn't necessarily need to be there because that takes the enjoyment out of dating. And what I've learned is, again, taking that pressure off, knowing what it is I'm looking for more and more as I go on each date, and meet more people, but knowing what I'm looking for and also having a positive mindset of, okay, even if it's not my person, either I can cut it short and thank them for the time and energy that we did have together, or I can choose to stay on this date, which is normally what I do. Even if I decide this is not somebody that I can see with me being with long term, I will still actually continue on with the date because at the very least, I know I can learn something from this person that I don't yet know. Because again, I think every person has such unique life experiences, hobbies, interests, and qualities that I don't know about. And I love learning. And I would recommend for you cultivating that mindset of you love learning too, because there's so much to learn about each person, about their experiences. And the more you can embrace that mindset of, I love learning, you will get something out of every person, every date, even if it's not somebody that you see yourself with long term. That makes the dating process so much more enjoyable. And again, makes you more excited and encouraged and motivated to continue going on different dates and not to fall into the discouraged, why try, this sucks mindset, which I feel like so many people fall into. And it's unfortunate because they could be one person away, one date away from finding their person, right? Or finding, even if it's not their forever person, somebody who they could have a great connection and relationship with. So a huge part of this is being positive, looking for the good things. And when there are negative qualities, that's great because at least you're learning something about what you don't like. Write that down and use that to help guide you in future dates. So I hope you found this video helpful. I have had a really great time. I've had some bumpy experiences as well, but a great time learning myself and what I like in other people when it comes to dating. And even that negative experience that I had, you know what? I learned a lot of red flags to look out for immediately when I talked to somebody. So it was not a waste. It was not it was not an experience that I regret, because again, I learned so much that I would have never learned had I not met that person. So, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you the best of luck on your dating journey, whatever your intentions may be. And otherwise, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll put my handle here. It's at Vivian No, and on TikTok as well. And otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.